wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's time to get into formation. We gotta get ready for the battle. So call on your brothers and sisters. We gotta turn back to the scriptures. Stop making it all about you. Them preachers, they got it confused. Come out of her. Cause Yahuwah is our deliverer. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, cause nobody's perfect. We're called by his name. We're called by his name. Seek him to be worthy. We should be coming together. There's power in unity. It's time to come into the order, cause we are a living prophecy. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. Lace up them boots. We gotta move stealth mode, put on camouflage. We gotta be wise. Open your eyes to the most high in the skies. We must stop arguing, it's irrelevant. We must live in the Torah, it's heaven sent. He will put it in your heart, fulfilling the word of the new covenant. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, cause nobody's perfect. We're called by his name. We're called by his name. Seek him to be worthy. We should be coming together. There's power in unity. It's time to come into the order, cause we are a living prophecy. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. I've been changed, I've been changed. I'll be the first to say I was one of them, that we only live by grace and just have faith. I was taught to listen to what my pastor say. Only you should trust in him, he'll never lead you astray. But now that I know better, he don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. The truth has made me free. I've been changed. I am no longer deceived. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. Now let's take something that is so simple. Something simple like the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It is written that his word don't change. Why do you lie and defy the holy scriptures just to satisfy your desires? And now that I know better, he don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. Ain't no going back to what I used to do. No, I've been changed. I'm a new man. I've been changed. I've been changed. Whatever y'all say, I will obey. I no longer listen to men. I test everything they say. Let the word of Yah be true, and let every man be a liar. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. No more Easters. I've been changed. I keep His holy days. I've been changed. Yes, the chains, they've been broken. I've been changed. And this truth will be spoken. I've been changed. 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 I've been changed.
Hey, shalom, 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 y'all. Shalom. It's Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. We got a good lesson lined up for you. A lot of good information we're going to bring out. I see brothers and sisters still coming in. Let me get everything situated here. All right. So, and as you could tell by the title, congregation, or I'll pull the title up, building a congregation or a nation. So, we're going to get into that. It's going to be similar, same topic we talked about last Shabbat when I did the Jacksonville Shabbat. But I'm going to elaborate on it. I'm going to go in a little deeper on the spiritual development side of building a congregation versus building a nation, and show the differences, and show, in this lesson, I'm going to show the need for Torah, why it's so important. You begin to understand that on a very practical level when you begin to come together on a nation mindset. The best way I put it is coming together on a congregational mindset is like practice. It's like it's like training camp. The best analogy I could give. There's actually a couple. You could equate congregation to basic training in the military and preparing for war. But when you get on the battlefield, which is actually building the nation, that's where you begin to see. That's where you begin to see what everybody's made of. There's a lot of stories of people who, in basic training, and even in the training that comes after basic, like combat training, man, they excelled. They were head of their class in that. But then when they actually got on the battlefield, it was a different story. Similar thing to that is they talk about a lot of people with MMA, mixed martial arts. You got a lot of people who come into mixed martial arts. They used to be wrestlers. They used to wrestle. And then they come into MMA and they're training and getting trained up for MMA. And then they have a real MMA, mixed martial arts fight. And you don't know who's made for it till you get punched in the face and you get rocked, and then you see who's really made up of what and who's just going through the motions. It's the same thing with building a congregation versus building a nation. You know what I'm saying? It's where everybody in church. Oh, Jesus, I love you forever. Oh, Jesus. And getting all emotional and sweaty and talking. Oh, I love, oh, in Jesus and all this stuff. But then when it comes to nation building, then you see who's really made up of what. There ain't no faking it because it's about action. It's about the works. But anyway, that's my quick intro. Let me say shalom to all the brothers and sisters in there. Shalom, Solomon. Good to see you in there. My man, Mikael Gabar. Shalom. My wifey, Koya. She came through big yesterday. If y'all don't know, we had a bunch of the ox over. We cooked out, and we were gonna cook out. I had got all the stuff together. Little did I know, big rainstorm was rolling in. Wifey had already peeped it out. You know, she knew to keep an eye on the weather and stuff the day before, so she already had her alternative plan all mapped out. When the storm rolled in, I put the grill up. She had already went to the store, got food. She had already, by the time the first raindrop hit, she was already in the house cooking. So she cooked a great meal for all the ox and the coatees who had came over. And she just really came through big. And that's after a full day of work. She had went to work that day too. So she went in hard. When she went to bed last night, before her head hit the pillow, she was snoring. She was so tired. So shout out to my prime rib, Koya Israel. She came through big yesterday. All the ox enjoyed the food and the fellowship over here. Shalom to my man Yehukanan Yasha'ala. Good to see him in there. Shaka, shalom out. Good to see you in there. Sister Hannah, shalom. Orlando is in the house. Tafinia, I think I got that right. Shalom, good to see you in there. I see my Ak, Aliyah in there. Sister Melanie. Shalom, sis. The Diamond. All right. And then over here on YouTube, shalom, Aliyah. Shalom, Yah's heart, shalom, Tahar Ward, shalom, good to see you in there. Yah's heart, okay, shalom. Elder Laya, Taniqua, shalom. Solda Yah, shalom. Let's see, I see y'all in there conversating. Somebody wrote, okay. Yep. So Yah's heart, she said, my husband and I are and our children have teaching service right in our living room because the word says where there are two or more gathered together in Yah's name, there he will be in the midst. That's good. Yep. That exactly. And I'm glad you put that in there because we're gonna break that down. We're gonna get into that for sure. Okay. So all right. So what I'm gonna do here is let's see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just right there in the title. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just define the title. We're gonna break those words down. I know for those of y'all over there on YouTube, y'all didn't see, but I posted a similar post like this in Facebook. So, but I'm gonna break it down for those of you watching over on YouTube. So, what it said, what we got here, it says, I define congregation. So we're gonna look up that definition, and I'll pull it up there. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. Congregation, a group of people assembled for religious worship. Okay? All right? And like the sister said, because we are to congregate and study the word, study the instruction, so we're educated and we know what's expected of us. But we can't mistake that for what we also told to do. It says, gather yourselves together, O nation, not the desire. We are supposed to be coming together as a nation. So let's look up the definition of nation, and we're going to get into that a little bit. And there's a definition of nation. A nation is a stable community of people formed on the basis of a common language, territory, history, ethnicity, or psychological makeup manifested in a common culture. A nation is distinct from a people, so it goes into all that. So formed on a similar mindset. Let's see any other definitions we might have here. It says the nation. Hold on, we'll put definition here so we can define it. There it is. So definition: a large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, or language inhabiting a particular country or territory. So when we look at that and then we compare that with the script, a nation is more aligned to what we need to be doing as far as coming together. And I'm not saying we're not supposed to be coming together studying the script. We have to, because that's the instruction. That's how we are to come together as a nation. But what the thing I've harped on a lot is that it says faith without works is dead. And what happened is, you look around. I look around at our people. I look at our condition, and there's a lot of kind of wishful thinking, but we're not fulfilling that scripture where it says faith without works is dead. Where are the works? Where are we putting in works? Works is not coming together and studying the instruction, and that is part of what we're commanded to do: come together and study the Most High Yah's instruction and praise Him. But where are the works? Because what we've been deceived into thinking is that studying the instruction and acknowledging the Most High Yah for the instruction He's given us is the works, but it's not. And that's the big point I was making last week, and that I've been drilling on. And the thing is, when we sit there, we go through the motions, we're studying these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're getting understanding, and like what I've been doing here on some like Mr. Miyagi type stuff, teaching folks how to paint the fence. And I'm saying, look, this, you have to have your relationships in order. You have to have your the husband and the wife have to be in their proper roles as outlined by the instruction, even though it totally goes against what society teaches. And I'm always harping on that. And I'm saying, hey, get your mind right. Overcome lust. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm drilling and I'm grilling on this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm teaching on this all the time and encouraging people to start with this heavy work of getting their mind right. Okay. Once you get your mind right, getting your relationships in order. And I'm going through how to do that. And a lot of people have to begin to understand the big picture. Okay. And what's the big picture? Going back again to what I said, building a nation, not a congregation. We're not going through the motions of just a group of people assembled for religious worship. I'm not saying that's a sin, but I'm saying that's not the end all of what we're doing. We're building a nation, okay? And like I said, a large body of people united by common descent, particularly, let's go right to what it says here, a large body of people united by common culture, okay? And then, like it said here in the other definition, a nation is a stable community, stable community of people formed on the basis of common language. It goes through all the stuff, but particularly history and psychological makeup. And like I said, this is a definition, but it hits on what the Bible's saying. Like-minded believers, people who got their mind right. Once everybody has their mind right, and when I say has their mind right, they have the same moral character. So now, you've come over my house. I can trust you around my kids because I know you're not struggling with lust. I can trust you around my kids because I know you're not a homosexual child molester or something like that. I trust doing business with you because you're transparent and straight up, and I know you're honest with yourself. So you're not gonna make excuses when something goes wrong. You're gonna own it, and I know you're gonna make well on it. You see what I'm saying? These are the building blocks of being able to come together as a nation. I can't deal with you if you don't have a relationship with the Most High. Then you're not going to get your mind right, and you're not going to have a proper relationship with yourself, let alone your family, let alone me. And I'm not going to have nothing to do with you. That's why I deal with, like, the number one thing with the people that are around me is they're transparent. They're not scared to own stuff. They got humility. You see what I'm saying? We can't do nothing. Step one, if folks ain't got their mind right. You see what I'm saying? So that's a heavy thing. Okay, I see y'all. And yeah, and like I say every time, if y'all have anything y'all want to contribute, definitely contribute. Put the stuff in the comments. Bring it out. Okay? So let me see what we got here. Let's see. Shabbat. So you're hooking on put nation-minded. Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to know what the works are, if you say literally once you get your mind right, you get your house in order. Like coming together on I guess you say a group economic level or nation-minded level is just effortless. It's no big deal. But when you got people who are not honest with themselves, people who aren't even transparent with their own issues, they're not going to be transparent with you. And you're going to try to come together and it's just going to be a mess. And you see it all over the place. And a lot of people are deceived in oh yeah, I'm doing work. Oh, I'm this, that, and the other. And you look and nobody's come together, working together as a nation like this book is showing you how to. We've been deceived by the brand Christianity. And I'm not saying Christianity itself and what that word stands for is evil. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that thing they call a church, those buildings out there, and that whole structure is wicked as heck. It's like you just, they deceive you in the inactivity. You sit there, you give somebody your money, you don't know where it's going, you don't know what they're doing with it, and you're just building their kingdom up. And as far as you and your life and the other brothers and sisters that's there, it's not doing anything for them besides, I mean, you're better off just going to Beyonce and Jay-Z concert and pay $90 or whatever they charge for a ticket and go there, get emotional, and then go back home. It's literally the same thing, you know, where the reality is, and like I said, we're getting ready to bring out the scriptures, but the reality is what we're supposed to be doing, let me pull that verse up. When you read, let me pull, okay. So when you read Acts 4:32, and I'm gonna pull it up here on the screen. I think that's the right verse. But when you read Acts 4:32, I like reading it in the King James, me personally. Okay. So here, I put the verse up here for you to see. It says, and the multitude of them that believed. And look, it said, and the multitude of them that believed, they believed, were of one heart and of one soul. So like-minded believers, had their minds right, you know. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things in common. Okay? And let me go to the next verse. All right. So it says, and as, no, that didn't work out good. So 4:32. Y'all bear with me. We're going to go out to 4:32. It says, and the multitude of them that believed were of one heart, 33. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and great grace was upon them all. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands and houses sold them and bought the prices of the things that were sold and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. And the reason I brought this scripture, like, this is New Testament, so you got all these so-called Christians who are New Testament, but you don't see this. I mean, you see folks still struggling, and this is something I see even in the Hebrew community. Our people are struggling, and what we've done is just adopted the church model, but just called it Christianity. I mean, called it Hebrew Israelite. Instead of a pastor, we call him a moray and all this, but it's the same exact model. Give me the money, and then I'm going to spend it on who knows what. In the meantime, there's no nation or group economics going on at all. Okay? It's just the same struggle. And, we don't need to be repeating that model that's obviously don't line up with the book. It's clearly a Greco-Roman model. Initially, instead of calling him Caesar, they called him a pope, then they called him a pastor, now he's a moray, and it's the same model, dude. Okay? Same oppression. And what if they, see, our people wonder why in the worst neighborhoods are there so many churches? And it's just a deceptive model. You could say how you want how it got there. At the end of the day, Satan's behind it. It's just another deceptive model to keep the people oppressed and to give them the illusion of serving Yah without the actual power of really coming together as a nation. It just keeps the money and the resources coming out of our community. What does the pastor do? He take all that money, and who's he give it to? He gives it to another nation. He takes all the people's resources and gives it to who? BMW, Mercedes, some real estate company to buy some big house for him. Some big gold company that's probably owned by a Jewish person to buy some big gold, whatever he spends the money on. It ain't book. That model ain't book. All right? It's not. That's right. Sister put soldiers, can't forget about soldiers. That's right. So what does it do? It keeps you oppressed and deceived, and oppressed and inactive. It keeps you, here it is, keeps you oppressed and suppressed. It keeps you suppressed because you feel he's selling you the illusion that, hey, you're serving the Most High in spirit and in truth. But in reality, you just kind of serving them in spirit because you're learning the instruction, but not in truth. You're not taking any action. So they're keeping you oppressed by that model. And that same model is what Hebrew Israelite leaders are modeling their thing after. The same thing. And even I was misled by it because I tried to do that coming into this. And something didn't sit right. And I know when I get that feeling, it's like something's off, I know not to push through it. I know to just kind of sit there and just tarry, just sit there for a while and just see, what is this, and feel it through. And yeah, so, Sister Leah said, yeah, it's a social club for profit, and it's not for your profit. So let's get into how it should be, how it should look. The thing I propose, and this was just me, but since I've put this out there, other people have showed me all types of other avenues that we could come together to begin to be like a team player with this thing and bring everybody up as a nation. So my thing was, instead of everybody giving their money to Michael Israel to build up spiritual combat ministries so that I could travel or buy some building and all whatever I'm spending money on, and y'all just doing what? Losing your resources, transferring your resources to me, so for my enjoyment. Instead of doing that, what we do is put our money together, and this is just the idea I had, but there's other ideas. But we get a group of people, and this is what we're doing. We're actively working on this right here in Jacksonville. We put our money together. We buy a piece of property. And now that piece of property, that home, we could use that home to have our Shabbat. Everybody's owner in it, part owner in it. It's not much at first because it's one property, but everybody's part owner. Now we have a place to congregate. Now we have land that we could plant food on. If one of the lower income families needs a place to stay, boom, we put them in there. Now it's generating income. We've cut down on our food expense. Now, as a family, we're not spending as much money on food. Then we take it, we buy another piece of property. Then we buy another piece of property. So now we have more land. We have more residents to live in. And my big thing is our two of our biggest expenses are homes, our shelter, our living, and our food. Okay? And it's just a cycle, rinse and repeat. And instead of giving your money to something that has no, cash flow is not doing anything, you're not keeping your money in your nation. Now you're putting, it's group economics, it's nation building. You're putting this thing into action. Okay? And as like I said, there's one congregation, they're doing this now, and they've acquired a whole bunch of properties in one area to the point where they probably damn near own one street you know. And now you got all this land. You know, if you want to have a conference, you got a place to have your conference at, you know, and you structure it in a way where everybody has ownership and say so in it, and access, and can view where what's going on in the accounts, what money's coming in, what money's coming out. You see what I'm saying? You're doing this with what? What did we read earlier? With like-minded people. You ain't doing it with Pastor Shiesty and Moray Backstabber or something like that. You know, you're doing it with like-minded people. One of the things that were brought up, we said everybody's putting their resources together. Everybody don't got money. We understand that. But everybody has a resource they can put in to doing a project like this. Everybody has everybody got a brick they could put into this thing. So where somebody might not have money, they got time. Okay? So they got their labor. So if they can't put in their money, they can put in their labor. They can, you buy a distressed property and you bring the congregation in to do the manual labor on. It's not complicated. One of the other areas I talked about, a real simple one that a lot of people could do today, these people, for the brothers and sisters who don't work, or for the sisters who don't work, they stay at home. They can cook a big pot of food and to the local family, put them in a Facebook group and say, hey, $10 plates. Selling healthy food to the mishpachah so they don't have to go to these fast food stores and poison themselves and their family. This is basic stuff. Now, what are you doing? We're going over there. She's giving us a bowl of food. We paying her the money for it. Instead of that money going to McDonald's or Burger King, it's staying in our nation. Instead of us poisoning ourselves and hurting ourselves health-wise, we're healing ourselves with cooking, you know, or blessed of Yah, you know what I'm saying? So, and what I'm talking about is basic foundational stuff that make a huge difference more than anything else. Another big area, we buy these houses like this. If let's say, for instance, we buy these houses and there's not a tenant to go in them, or say there is somebody to live in them. During the day, they serve as schools to homeschool our kids. We was over here chopping it up. They were telling me how bad it's gotten in them schools, to where in the middle schools, like, they're forcing homosexuality down their throats out there, with people kissing in the hallways, all types of craziness, man. And it gets me fed up, because it's like, dude, we see all of our people sick, getting obese. We see our people getting hospitalized, spending all of our money in medical stuff. To do what I'm talking about, you go to Walmart, buy a big old soup pot, and you in business. Buy up a bunch of beans, rice, and something else healthy, and cook up a big old pot, and you're gonna probably triple your money and be killing it, and be putting in kingdom work, healing our people up. Now what? Our money ain't going to Walmart. To Burger King and McDonald's, and to the medical establishment, that we know the medical establishment is in business with the food establishment. You see what I'm saying? And then eventually you be selling so many plates out here, now you move up to Costco. And then after that, soon as you moving up to Cisco, you got a truck backing up, dropping off boxes at your house. And McDonald's like, dude, why a business drop off like this? You know? This is works. These are the works we're talking about. It says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Are you telling me this ain't the works? It's like people, we're poisoning ourselves, and people are expecting magic to happen. Like it's like Most High Yah is Aladdin, and you grant me these 3 wishes. Like, no, I get, you got all the resources right there. He wanting us to, it said, gather yourselves together, O nation, you're not desired. These other nations are poisoning us and killing us off. Why? Because we won't work together. Like, this thing ain't complicated. It's not complicated. What's complicated is our people don't got their minds right. They've been deceived by Christianity into making a pastor rich. You got these evil pastors out here that just want to fleece the flock and take advantage of them. When we got it, it's all right here. It's all right here, man. It's you know, and I'm not even talking about, let's disregard the whole house thing. Let's say that's a huge step. Because a lot of people don't understand, if you get 5 people together to buy a house, it's actually easier to buy that house than it is to buy a TV from Best Buy or to buy a used car. But our people have no concept of group economics because we've been divided for so long. And the book telling us, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Come out of this church crap. Like the sister said earlier, she said her and her husband and the kids get together and do their Bible study right there. That's a congregation. You gotta blow all your daggone hard-on resources getting some building that ain't doing nothing. Like, we gotta use wisdom. Exactly. Man, that's a good one. I gotta write that down. And give me the verse. It says, come out of her, my people, and partake none of her ways. That, I think that's scripture, that's Revelation. It says, come out of her, my people. And it didn't say, well, take some of her ways because some of them are okay. None. Let's come out of this in every way. And like, food's the main thing poisoning us. Like, me and Koya, man, we be shaking and moving so hard and going so hard with this thing. You know, and you know, I'm gonna have maybe, you know, Koya works a full-time job, so it's like us sometimes during the week between her working and me working and us having to get our rest, we gotta run to McDonald's or Pizza Hut or something like that and just choke down some of that garbage, you know. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there. Really. Yeah, man, y'all going off in these statements. The black church leaders is no different than private clubs. That's right, private social clubs. They found a place outside of the heathen where they feel powerful. It's either you can look at anything if you want to evaluate who you dealing with or whatever. Follow the power and the money, or both. They got an appetite for that. That's how you evaluate these people. You know, I believe if you calling is from Yah, that Yah shall provide, lead, and guide. Exactly. But the thing is, his instruction tells you exactly what to do. It's not Disney magic. Like a lot of people, like it says, faith without works is dead. And that work is not wishful thinking as hard as you can. The faith is like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to trust it, but let me do what I can on my end. Case in point, let me back that up with some Bible scripture real quick. All right. Because it's, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So what we're going to do, because I want to show you what I'm saying, is you could go, a good verse to go to is Matthew 25. 25. Okay. It says, after working. Okay, that was the virgins. Hold on, that with it. Where? Okay, Luke. Okay, might be in Luke, but what I was talking about was the tale of the talents, where, you know, you had one who just buried it to keep it safe, and then you had the other who multiplied it, you know. And let me see. Let me see if I can find it. But all right. Whoops. So yeah, what we have to do is we need to understand. 12. There it is. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman. So this is the story right here. A certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds. I'll put it up here on the screen. Delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man and reign over us. It came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because that has been faithful in very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second came and said, Lord, thou pound hath given 5 pounds. He said the same thing. And another came and said, behold, here is thy pound, which I kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art I forget what that word is. Austere, an austere man, thou takest up that thou laidest not down, and reapest that thou did not sow. And he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knowest that I was an austere man, taken up that I laid not down, and reapest that I did not sow. Wherefore thou gavest not thou my money to the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with usury. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that have 10 pounds. So basically, what I'm trying to say with that scripture is what's happened, and Satan is a deceiver, is he has deceived us into thinking that, we unknowingly have been misled into thinking, hey, just give this guy the money, and nothing's happening. And you can't make this because, well, he told me to give me the money, because now we putting it straight up out there. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be bringing your stuff together to do things to edify the whole flock, okay? The whole nation, all right? All right, let's see. They even have, she said they even got bouncers called deacons. They talk about Black Wall Street 1921, okay? But the reason why that failed is it wasn't mystical magic or nothing. Black Wall Street was not of the Most High. It said, envy not your oppressor and choose none of his ways. They were trying to do what their oppressor was doing. They were trying to mimic their business and model their thing after their oppressors. And they weren't doing according to thus saith the Most High. They were envying their oppressors. And that's why it got shut down. Okay? Fly or something in here. All right, Yah has given each of us a time, talents, and treasure. Exactly. And that's something I try to I'm telling you, man, y'all don't understand how heavy this is and how deceived people are, even the leaders, where just the mere structure of Christianity is designed to just make you feel inferior and like you're not bringing nothing to the table and you got to be up under this person. When I'm telling you, man, everybody's bringing heavy resources to the table, whether it be talent, money, labor, time, whatever. Everybody's bringing heavy things to the table. A lot of people don't realize how the heaviness of the skill they bring to the table. Like me, I thought everybody knew how to fix cars. Like I thought all men knew how to change oil, change spark plugs, do timing belts, and do batteries. Like I thought that was standard. I thought men were grown just like a dude knows how to do basic dude stuff. Like I thought all men knew how to change alternators, batteries, oil, maybe not transmission fluid, change tires. I thought that was basic across the board. I thought every dude knew when to use a wrench and when to use a ratchet. You think I'm playing? But no, it's not. Like people take their skills for granted. I know I take my mechanical ability, it's just second nature to me. But if you ask me to teach kids like classroom stuff, that's like alien to me. Like I don't have the skills and ability to do that. Like that's hard. Let me tell you about me cooking. I could cook tacos and eggs. If I cook spaghetti, it tastes just like tacos and eggs. Like I don't know how to season stuff. When I cook something, it all tastes the same and I screw it up. I can't cook. That's a big deal, dude. It's a big deal. People really take what they do day to day, they take it for granted and they think they gotta be this like super talented, specialized person when we really don't need people like that. Like we need laborers. You know? All right. Teaching a craft. That's another thing. One of the things, again, I realized that majority of the money goes to a place to live and food and then transportation. And I'm already figuring out I'm going to do a conference. It'll be online and in person, I live stream or whatever, on auto repair. On basic auto care and knowledge on vehicles and what vehicles to stay away from. And just basically anything American made, stay away from it unless you're a damn good mechanic. And what cars that you should buy, what models, what you need to watch out for, all the way through when something does break, even if it's complicated, how to fix it. Even if you have zero mechanical experience, I can show you where to get the information, the cheapest places to buy the tools, where to get your parts, and all that stuff. So I'm going to do a course on that because that's a place that sets a lot of our people back. So sister says she make her husband and her children large healthy salads to take to work for their lunch. This sister, see, this is my thing. Like this sister here, sisters like this, they don't get enough admiration. That some woman who, oh, she's the first CEO of some other nation's company and they hold her in high esteem. Woo! She's the first person to ever be an executive at this company. Who gives a crap? This sister here doing heavy work for her nation. She's keeping her family healthy. Some sister, oh, she got promoted to this in some other nation's company. Whoopie-doo. And in the meantime, you know, her family at home dying and going back and forth to the hospital because they eating poison. You know, oh no. And what do they want to say? Oh, that's oppressive. Having a woman cook and do traditional things that the Bible says. Again, that's part of the deception. They want to act like if a woman homeschools her kids and cooks for her family, that's oppressive. Dude, you are choosing your oppressor's mindset to a T. Because the most valuable woman in this nation are those women that homeschool their kids and cook for their family. Because they're keeping, those are the women that I say are doing, man, I hold them in high admiration for what they're doing. I care less if you a CEO or whatever the heck you're doing for some company. What's that doing for our people? That's the deception. They done brainwash these women into thinking, oh yeah, look at my accomplishments. You ain't accomplished nothing. People around you are dying and you serving some other nation, man. I know folks don't like it, but whatever, man. It's 100. and to back up what I'm saying, we've been doing this for years, and look at the condition of our people. You know, kids, while they moving up in this company, they throwing their kids in these schools and around people, and the kids getting molested and mind poison and all types of other, and getting sick because they eating crap. Also, we could serve these other nations in their companies or whatever we do. It ain't a game. Yeah, it's nothing for us to set up our own schools, man. It's nothing. It's all smoke and mirrors, churches, all dark, loud music and emotional. It's just emotional. It's like, dude, most people are like, oh, I felt the spirit move in here. Dude, go to a Beyonce concert. You'll feel the spirit move in there, which is just emotion. It's just, come on now. Hey, look, somebody got to come down the middle and be 100 with stuff. All right? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not our plagues. And this ain't magic. Like, people are like thinking this is Disney magic when it's practical. If you go chasing their idea of success, you're going to reap the plagues of it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It ain't worked for our people. We've been doing it since integration, since the 60s. And we're worse off than we were in the 60s. I showed you this statistic. 900 babies aborted a day by our women, okay? A lot of it for filthy lucre. Oh, my career and it just don't work for my career and this, that, and the other. Deceived, buddy. It's no joke. It's smoke, like this says, smoke and mirrors. It's Egypt. Mentally, though. Now, Pharaoh's not coming in to kill your children. He done got in your head and had you doing it. Killing your firstborn and secondborn and all that. All right, neither is worship with men's hands as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breathe and all things. Okay. Even one is valuable. Yeah, exactly. Even one is valuable. We need. So, sister put, we need to seek Yahusha first and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto us. And I'm glad she put that there, because they say that. Let's break that down to understand exactly what that is, because what happens, that gets quoted to us in the church, and it has a subliminal, the way it's presented, it has a subliminal ring to it of wishful thinking. And then let's break it down what it really means. So what is seeking Yahusha first and his righteousness? His instruction. If you want to seek him out, you're going to read his instruction on what he said to do. And then you're going to do faith with works. And you're going to actually take action, and his blessings will follow. You will get a result for doing it his way. So instead of seeking after these other nations' ways and doing all this, you do it the biblical way. You focus on your family and your nation, and then you're going to get a result, a blessing after that. Okay? But if you're chasing after their stuff, their prestige, their positions and all that stuff, at the sacrifice of your family, at the aborting of your kids, your career, you're not going to receive his righteousness, his blessings. See, they're not telling you that. What they tell you in the church, just seek Yahusha. So you go in there, get sweaty, yell, get emotional, like you're at a Beyonce concert, and you feel like, something happened in there. Yeah, you got excited. And then you go right back to the mess and choosing Babylon's ways. And that's why we have the result that we have right now. 900 babies aborted a day. You got lust-filled homosexual men molesting kids all the time and all that stuff. You got a hot mess because they're not seeking after his way. They're not getting their minds right. They're not getting aligned. Okay? All right, let's see. Caring for my family was an honor. That's good, sis. It is. I'm telling you. But what they brainwash you into thinking that it's not an honor. All right. Somebody said, we can do all things through Yahusha. So, and I think we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. How do we do all things through Christ? Again, follow his instruction. You see what I'm saying? It's not, I get emotional and I just say this and I feel something. No, it's actually doing the work. Doing it. Okay? So let me see. I'm going to pull up this scripture. There we go. There. All right. Y'all bear with me. So, and that's what I'm saying. These scriptures, we got to make sure, we get all, like, that's why I make sure these scriptures that I've heard for years in Christianity, and they subliminally have you interpret them in a wishful thinking way. I got to make sure I strip the Christianity off them, so there's no, you see what I'm saying? So there's no confusion. Because I'm telling you, man, what's going on in these churches, man, it's heavy manipulation on a high level scale. So hold on, okay. So we got James chapter 2, verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. So if your spirit is not in your body, what does it do? It just lays there and wastes away and nothing happens. That is what has been happening to us as a people. We're dying. Because what? We're not taking any action. It's not complicated. Okay? Let's see. They use that to tell us to do nothing. Yeah. Hebrews, like he said, they use that to tell us to do nothing and to wait on God, or save our pound in a napkin to return to God. I'm not sure what she said in that last part, but yeah. Somebody put, it's a cycle of dependency with the churches. They got to keep you stupid to keep you dependent on them. Now, it's funny, the archives, I was talking to, and I'm going to read y'all's comments over here on YouTube also. I mean, on Facebook also. It's funny because the ox I was talking to, they do this. They actually got this thing. They're doing this community thing and all that. The way I said it. It's funny. He said that he was like, the first step in doing this, the first move you have to make is that everybody from the least to the greatest has to be educated. And it's funny because in the church is the exact opposite. They got to keep you dumb as a box of rocks. And they do that by just have you in there shouting, getting emotional. You feel like something done happened, and then you leave and you swear something didn't happen, and you're dumber than a box of rocks. But this is why the Most High said, fail not to assemble. This is why we teach Torah at once a week. You got a day off to get to study, to get educated, to get understanding. Okay? So let's see. All right, so there. I said, the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away and have not visited them. Behold, man, that's a good verse. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord. Okay? How do they scatter the flock? You got Christian churches out there saying abortion is okay. You got them saying, oh, it's oppressive if you want to stay home and have kids and homeschool them. That's oppressive. You don't have to oppress her. You know, traditional wifelyhood, if that's a word, is oppressive. That's what they're telling you. When that's exactly why we're in the condition we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy, dude. Daggone fly is annoying. A fly flying around. Something like that. All right. Let me see. All right. Let's see what else. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. And y'all, I'm praying for that, and y'all please pray for that people will receive what I'm saying and not get up under me, but just we can begin to make this a reality. Like I'm having, I might do it next week. I gotta see because I got something. I'm very busy, but I'm gonna do a Zoom meeting where we can start planning this out. I already reached out to all my people in the local Jacksonville congregation. They're with it, so it's an exciting time. Let's see. Their version of back to phase one: awaken, restore, prepare. Exactly. Confront your past, change the present, claim your future. Exactly. So simple yet so difficult. And the deception is difficult because they've deceived us in the inactivity through our emotions. Okay? All right, let's see. Y'all's heart, she put out, watch your kids and just homeschool them. I can tell you some stories, and this was, all right, I don't know where that went. Okay. For James 1:23, people are deceived ourselves. They are not doing or obeying. That's right. So yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of deception out there, and wordplay and all that stuff. Let me see what else we got. All right. And this one of the verses I brought out when I was doing that lesson last week. It Proverbs tells you, consider the ant. Look at the ant. It says, consider the ant, thou sluggard. They know when to get after it. They know when it's time for the work. Yeah. So let me see something. But yeah, so we have to. One of the big things we have to do is learn to look at the scriptures through a Hebraic lens and not a Greco-Roman Christianity lens. Okay, you have to look to see where they cause that when I listen to some of these people teach, which I don't listen to. I was telling somebody just I got about really 3, you could even say 2.5 people that I listen to their teachings to get edification. I've cut a lot of people off recently. As far as I don't listen to their teachings anymore and stuff like that. And I just narrowed it down to 2.5 people that I listen. I eat the meat and spit out the bones. Sometimes there's a lot of bones, but there's not a lot of stuff out there. There's not. There's a lot of noise, and it's hard to find a signal out there. Somebody coming down the middle. You know what I'm saying? So Sister Melanie, she put, when I belonged to a Christian church, they took up a regular collection and a building fund collection every week. I always gave to both collections, yet after 5 years, the ladies' room still, ladies' room still did not have a doorknob, but the pastor's wife had a new outfit every week. No improvement to the building. It's the Christian church structure is simply Roman hierarchy. You're paying Caesar. You're paying, I mean, and what they do, they use witchcraft to deceive you through your emotions. And if you question it, they make you feel, they put a guilt trip on you. So the sister said she gave for 5 years. If we do what I'm talking about for 5 months, everybody is going to begin to see a move up in things. We get our sisters cooking, doing all this stuff. economically, financially, spiritually, physically, with your health. It on all facets, you're gonna begin to see a blessing. The reason why our people been doing church for so many years and they still cursed, and 900 kids are dying a week, and kids are being, men and women are getting molested left and right, is because you're not operating according to the word. You're not being obedient to the scripture. You're dead. You're not doing works. Okay? You're just faithful and emotional. I'm telling you, what I'm saying is not complicated. The deception is just elaborate. So we got to learn how to see through the deception. So the sister on YouTube, she put, nation building is where it's at. Preparation, exhort, rebuke, amend, our ways grow. Yeah. And what I tell people, man, if you really desire this, if you're tired of your condition, which the Most High is going to mollywop you upside your head and keep you suffering and until you get to the point where you like, man, this crap ain't working. Like, all right, let's do it. And you ready to go all in, you know? That's how it's been in my life. You know, certain things just got, like, I was praying for a wife. I was praying most of my life, praying that he send me a good wife. 27 years, when I turned 27, I was like, what the heck? I was like, is this thing going to happen? And little did I know, I wasn't doing my part. I wasn't working on I wasn't taking action. I wasn't educating myself. I had been in the church for 27 years, getting deceived, you know, hearing all that crap and nothing happening, all this. And until I just, you know, took action, and that's when things started happening. And I'm not saying you don't pray. You know, you pray and you ask and you seek the Lord and all that and worship him and acknowledge him and praise him for the instruction he's given us. But then you got to do what the instruction says. That's the big missing piece. All right. All right. As Rogers put, Ruach Kadesh is a frequency we should be tuned into. Teacher of all truth, gives wisdom and understanding of Scripture. Then we apply it willing obedience. Action speaks louder than words. Exactly. But the thing is, the way you're going to know what you're moving and how you're moving, he said, the words that I speak are spirit. So that's what I'm saying. You see where I'm getting at. A lot of people, and I feel like I understand what Rogers put there. Okay, he said the Spirit is a teacher in all truth. Okay, but what happens in Christianity with a lot of people, they're like, oh, some thought or something pops in their mind, and I've watched people say, hey, that's the Spirit telling me to do this and do that, and I'm looking in the book, which the words that he spoke and that are written in that book are spirit, and what they're talking about don't line up with what's in that book. So if what you, like, you get a lot of people saying, oh yeah, it's in my spirit to do this, you know, the Spirit told me this, and I'm like, wait, but the book say something different. So what told you that? If what you're saying is exactly opposite of what's in that book, gotta be Satan. Let me back off from you. Exit stage left. You know what I'm saying? So understand that whatever type of thought or whatever pops in your mind, a dream you have, if it don't line up with what's written in the book, guess who that's from? You see what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So that's a Koti. Yeah, exactly. And they put She put, be doers, not hearers. And we've been hearing for too long and not doing. And that's why we are in the condition we are in right now, which we're in a bad condition right now. Yeah. You're hooking on saying it's a spirit, but not the Holy Spirit. That's why you got to make sure you move. You got to be educated. Education is key in all things. So, for instance, you got to know, you got to be educated in the Word and have the scriptures down to where you can identify. It says casting down the thoughts that exalt themselves above the what? The knowledge of God. What's the knowledge of God? This book. People ain't doing it. So you got to be educated in that. And then if we go in on some type of endeavor, whether it's buying a house or whatever we're doing, you need to be educated. From the smallest to the greatest, need to understand this is where all the money's going. This is where money's coming in from. This is the power structure. Everybody has equal input. Nobody is lord over this thing we're doing. Because everybody, you get a lot of people, they want to be lords. I've dealt with folks across the Hebrew community from all over the place. And people like that power. I watch people come in this truth, men get in this truth in a marriage and a good submissive wife, but they let the power corrupt them and they abuse their power. Because dudes is weak, man. And that power and the money be getting dudes left and right. That spirit of money and power every time. All right. All right. Yep. The spirit of discernment. And the way to develop the spirit of discernment is by working on yourselves. You start by getting your mind right, and then you can, because you have to be able to discern the thoughts that are popping up in your mind and see if they line up with the word. If they don't, you got to deal with them. You got to learn how to deal with that and get your mind right. As you develop your mind, get your mind right, your spirit of discernment increases. Okay? And then like where I'm at now, you know, and I still got work to do, so don't get it twisted. I ain't sitting here saying I'm good. I got areas I'm still working on, but a lot of the areas I grew in, I watch people quick from a distance. I can watch them on YouTube and discern stuff that they haven't dealt with. Because a lot of people out here have a spirit of fear when it comes to dealing with their own issues, and they make excuses. And you can't build a nation with people like that, because they're going to get deceived. They don't have discernment. They kind of go along with stuff. So yeah, you know. All right. So hold on. We're going to press on. I got some more scripts. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let me pull up my verses. All right, we got so let's talk. We're gonna talk briefly about something we talked about last week. It goes right, like all this stuff is circling around the exact same area. You know, it like when we really start coming together now, we're doing economics with each other, and we're doing all this stuff and working with each other. You're like, most of our people, even these people who like got the Bible damn near memorized on 3 different levels in Hebrew and all this other stuff, they don't get the practical concept of these laws. You don't really get them until you really start coming together like a nation. Then you see the genius of them. You see why they're blessing and they're the best laws out there. Because now you can operate with your brothers and sisters on a high level of efficiency without there being conflict. It's like teamwork. It's literally like you could do something and you can trust without having to look or anything that, okay, I know they gonna move this way. Because what? We adhering to the same instruction. But because folks be like trying to spiritualize the scripture and bend it to their ways and read into stuff and try to come up with some meaning because they ain't dealt with stuff inside themselves, there's a lot of people you can't work with. That's why I'm big on transparency. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Okay, so what we're gonna do is bring up Jeremiah. We're gonna go back to something else core level. Jeremiah 29:4. Okay, so 29:4, and they tell you this is oppressive. Okay, so it says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives." Oh, y'all think I'm lying. I'm going to just put it up here on the screen for y'all. Look. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives. All right. I just want to, is that us? That is an order to us, right? It says, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Here are instructions. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Did it say, and eat at McDonald's? No, it said plant gardens, provide your own food. Today, isn't it, it's like, isn't it imperative that we do this now, where it's common knowledge how poisonous the food is here? That they're willfully poisoning us so we can be up in their medical establishments? Why are we not following orders? Works. Let me go back to that. Works. Faith without works. You're in there getting sweaty, acting like a nut. And acting like a sweaty nut up in the churches. And you ain't doing nothing. And this is orders. And you're in there dying and you can't figure out why. Here we go with the relationships. It says, take ye wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands. No, send your daughter off to college so she could be a whore and get 20 abortions, and then, it's a woman's right, to kill and murder and all this stuff like that. No. It tells you to arrange, find somebody to raise their son with some sense that's among your mishpachah, and marry your daughter off. So she ain't the next, or he ain't the next drama story. That dude who last month, he chained the doors of his car closed with his 3-year-old in it and lit the car on fire and burned her to death. Why? Because he got so frustrated with a custody battle with his wife. Because he felt like his wife was going to have the child smoking weed and all this other stuff and whatever. Because they were what? Two knuckleheads that just trusted in the way of Babylon of getting married, because this way, what the Bible says, is too oppressive. I asked the 900 babies a day that are getting killed. Is the Bible oppressive? That is so simple, man. This is book, man. That's what I'm saying. This is why we got to come together with a nation mindset. You got men in their 40s and older and and everything in between who can't even figure out how to meet or keep a woman. I was one of them. And you sitting there, your excuse isn't like, because I made excuses for years, you know. Oh, you don't have to get married. And I'm sitting there, a one-handed internet bandit, just going off on porn because I need a release. Oh, Paul wasn't doing that. You ain't Paul. You know, warning announcement, you're not Paul. You need to get your mind right. You haven't been, the women, you're not attracting women because you're not a man yet. You need to get your mind right. You need to figure out what's going on with you. Same thing with the women. You got to figure out why you push them in a way, this, that, and the other. There's something you're doing that's causing it that you don't know of. We got to get all this right. We got to do all this stuff for real. They ain't gonna be, you know. And I'm not being hard because I'm hard on myself. Like, and I'm telling you, the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because I was this. You know, I was 27 years old, didn't have one relationship that lasted over a month or two. I was a disaster. I was a mess with women. Didn't have no understanding with them. Couldn't understand why you know, some of them would be attracted and some wouldn't. The ones I wanted wouldn't. The ones I didn't want would. You know, whatever. But one day I leveled and I was honest with myself. You got to be transparent. Because you always hear me say transparency. It starts with yourself, being humbling down and being honest with yourself and where you're at. Okay? It's real talk, man. But going back, it says, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters. That they may abhor sons and daughters, because it's a woman's right to choose, or that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased. No, decrease. 900 a day, decrease. No, that ye may increase there and not diminish. That's what I'm telling you. What you see going on in this nation is the perfect, exact opposite. Perfect. That's how you know Satan's behind it. That's why when you know, and now it's a good time to say, these pastors over at Christianity are literally teaching the perfect, exact opposite of what the book says, to a T. It's scary. And the reason it's scary is because it's so emotionally deceptive. He said, build houses, live in them, plant gardens, eat from them. Them two things right there alone, these three things, marry your kids off, arrange the marriages. Them three things would totally turn everything around with us right there. It ain't magic. It ain't Disney wishful thinking. No, you just gotta shout and get sweatier and yell harder and get even more emotional and cry harder. No. It's that. This book. Come out of her, my people, man. Come out of these, anything mimicking that Greco-Roman, Catholic, Christian model. Get off it, dude. It's why you're in the condition you're in. Look, this is a bold statement. Nothing else is going to fix us. Nothing else is going to change unless this is done. You know? And like I said, it just, hey, man, it's what it is. All right, hold on. There we go. I think I got it. I think I took them out. All right, so somebody put, you married me off at age 20, and my husband was 22, and we have been happily and blessed, married for 25 years and counting. We have 4 children, and our baby just graduated from high school. Okay. Oh, she put, y'all married me off at 20. So yeah. Yeah. And these people say, oh, well, you need time to sample stuff and all this stuff and get STDs and kill yourself out there trying to find somebody. Nah. So yeah, this sister, she's showing that model, man. She fulfilled that. It didn't say and seek out a career and abort your kids so that you can be successful in the corporate world and all this stuff like that. It didn't say that. You see what I'm saying? It didn't say run around out there and this is Jeremiah. It didn't say run around out there and, oh, you're like Paul. You know, Paul wasn't married. Yeah, but Paul didn't have a big jar of Vaseline sitting on his desk in front of his computer. You know, Paul had a spirit for that. You know, but some of these dudes, I look at them, I see they're effeminate and they don't have the qualities that a woman would be attracted to, and they're not, and they got a spirit of fear on them and a subtle spirit of pride, and they don't want to be honest with themselves and admit what they're doing to turn the women off. Like, this was me. So because I went through all this, even if I don't want to see it on somebody, I see it on them. All right. Okay, so let's see. All right. Let me, I'm sorry. Let me get back on Facebook over here. All right, let's see. Boom. All right. Yeah, if it keeps acting up, just go over to YouTube. I'm on YouTube too, so. Yeah, you go right on over. I'm right on YouTube. It ain't skipping over there. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly. Oh, okay, yep. I read that earlier. So yeah. Facebook is sometimes it ain't the best place to watch videos at. To be honest with you. But yeah. But this is why it's like what I'm saying is totally beneficial. You know, get your mind right, get your relationships in order. So get your mind right, get in a proper relationship with Yah. Then get your home in order, get your marriage, get all that in order. Fight for it. It's a fight. And then come together. Begin to come together. Economically, financially, socially, you know, all that. To begin to come out of her economically, spiritually, and all that. You know? Come up out of this thing that's killing you off. They're killing you with these false doctrines. They're killing you financially. They're killing you dietarily. They're killing you at these jobs. You know, you can lighten that burden up greatly by first getting your mind right. Like, you ain't gonna, I'm just telling y'all straight up, we're not gonna do this if your mind ain't right, because there's situations where you're going to be under, let's see, there's situations where if you're not properly emotionally balanced in the right way or whatever, there's situations in doing what we're talking about doing, whether it be like buying houses or doing some of this stuff, where your character got to be of a high moral quality. You can't be no manipulative, power hungry, or weak person in this thing. You got to be grounded. Otherwise, you're going to be a loose block in the foundation, and you're going to cause the thing to begin to fall apart. And that's what I'm saying. All these people who talk a good game, talking about, you know, they could quote Baruch Hashem Yahuwah, and they saying stuff, and it sounds so holy. It sounds like they one of the angels up there by the throne and all that. And they could talk so good and quote the scripture, and it sounds like God down there talking to you. I don't get caught up in none of that crap. I don't get caught up in your scriptural memorization. I don't get caught up in your historical whatever the heck, and I don't get caught up in none of that. I know it says you will know them by their fruits. When we begin to get into these situations, when we begin to function as a nation, you folks gonna get exposed and weeded out real fast to themselves. They're gonna get exposed to themselves. You know, even me. I know it's gonna be situations that's gonna try my patience, you know, all that, man. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's people, you can put on a good game when you're in the so-called congregation, a group of people assembled for religious worship. Oh, you could put the act on in there where, oh, yeah, you hold it in there. I'll be like, okay, all right. But when we come to build this nation and assemble for that, it's just going to be how you, like your behavior is you're going to get exposed. You know, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the fruit come out. And we're going to see if you rotten oranges or ripe oranges. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be a weeding process. You know, you're going to see how people take correction. You're going to see who lazy. You're going to see who you can count on, who are people of their words or people who just talk. You're going to see who prioritizes, who puts this truth first, like they claim. Oh no, Most High Yah first in my life. Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it to that meeting because, well, we bought tickets to the Beyonce concert 3 months ago. You know, oh, okay, gotcha. You're gonna see who really about this thing. It'll just, you know, it'll be transparency. That's right. So Antonio, yeah, you just coming in. What we're talking about is the difference between congregation, which is just coming together to worship and stuff like that, and actually building a nation, like the Bible tells us to. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. And we've come out of books like Jeremiah, talking about what we're to do while we're in this captivity, and Acts, and we've kind of been bouncing around with a lot of scriptures backing up what I'm saying about about what doing this thing in spirit and in truth. And when I say in spirit and when I say in truth, I'm not talking about emotional, wishful thinking and all that. I'm talking about actually taking action economically, financially, coming together, buying land, planting food on it. So we have buying up houses, so we have places for our less fortunate people to stay in, and just taking real action to function like a real nation. Like China got Chinatown, and you know, they not hiring you and looking out for you. They looking out for their people. You know what I'm saying? We just going through stuff like that. Like I said, you can just go back through the video, and you can you'll get edified. Yep. So yeah, faith without works is dead. And literally, if you want proof on what I'm saying, look at these churches. Look at these Christian churches. Look at some of these Hebrew places, establishments that are mimicking the church, and it's just dead, stagnant. What do I mean, dead and stagnant? You'll see the pastor moving forward, acquiring stuff, growing, but you look at the flock, and they're just decreasing. It's like the flock's getting skinnier and skinnier. There's no hope for them for the future financially or economically or nothing. They're just giving their money to the pastor and wishfully thinking. So yeah, it's real talk. I am from the Caribbean living abroad. I eat my country food. I make my own hair products and my own skin cream. Thanks to Yah, we can do it. It has a nation together. So check this out, sis. I'm glad you said that, dude. There's a I work with at my job, and this dude looked like some superhero that somebody drew. And I just talking to him. He grew up in Jamaica. And he said where he grew up at, he said, man, they'd be outside playing all day and they wouldn't even have to go home to eat. Like if they get hungry, they grab something off a tree and eat it. So all day, they just out there eating fruits and stuff off trees and just playing. And then he said he'll go, because he's like, there's fruit trees everywhere. They just walk over here, grab this, walk over there, grab that. And then at night he'll come home. His mother will cook something, kill something in the backyard, cook it up. Boom. This dude looked like somebody drew him. I mean, this dude is like super healthy. And it's just like the sister said. And why? He ain't doing nothing magic. He doing what the book said. The book said plant trees. Here, I pull it back up here for you. Jeremiah 29. He orders for how we are supposed to function in this captivity. It says, build ye houses, dwell in them, plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Go to McDonald's and buy number ones. You know, it don't say that there. It says, plant your own food. They poisoning us out here, man. So yeah, we got to take action, man. Another thing you could do, say you're not around here. What you could do is all them bushes and plants and shrubs around your house, you could yank them all up and instead buy little lemon trees and fruit plants and vegetable stuff and stuff like that. Plant that around. These trees around my house, I'm gonna pull them up real soon. I got a freaking palm tree out here in front of my house, and the branches die off every couple weeks, and you spend more time, I waste more of my time out there on a fruitless tree. What did Christ do to that fruitless tree? Why they plant all this crap around my house that it don't do nothing? It just sit there and I gotta water it or cut it. I'm gonna cut it. I'm cutting it down. And I'm gonna plant something that bears fruit. That's book. All right? So the sister says she don't eat out at all. So yeah, so I know, yeah, she's in very healthy condition, you know? It says Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And let's break down. I want to make sure, because, okay, I always got to make sure when people post these scriptures, you got to strip the Christianity off of scripture like that. Because they just say, hey, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. But what did Christ say? He said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. What are the commandments? Torah. What's the truth, the light? Torah. Okay? It's nothing magical. It's anything you throw out there, go right back to that. You look all through what Christ was saying. He said, obey Torah. He was quoting Torah. You see what I'm saying? It ain't nothing magic. It's just instruction. Okay? So, we can't continue blaming this corrupt system now that we know better. Yeah, he said we can't continue blaming this corrupt system now that we know better. We should be doing better. self-preservation, Yah's law of nature. That's right. Come together as a nation. He said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. That's right, man. Um, I have seeds and hoping I can learn how to grow my own garden. I watch YouTube videos. I pray y'all will bless me because I don't do well with plants. Yeah, yeah. This, but like you said, there's no excuse. You could watch, you could turn on YouTube, and they'll show you exactly how to do whatever. Um, you said, man, there are lots of bushes in our garden that are medicines and food we need to educate ourselves. Hey, check this out. Sister Koya was like, y'all, I'm sure a lot of y'all know this. Like, we were raised that like dandelions were like weeds. It was like, man, I'm looking to plant dandelions in my backyard. You pull them leaves off and they super healthy. You make a dandelion salad. It's like, I'm on some, why the hell do I got grass around my house? Like, I got grass all around my house that I got to go out in this Florida heat and cut every week. And it ain't doing nothing. I can't eat it. I'm thinking about planting wheatgrass because it's a waste. It's like such a Babylonian deception. Why we got grass and fruitless bushes all around our house? Yeah, man. Let's see, man. There's lots of, let's see. Man, there are, what is it? The time I was in church and I never heard the pastor say anything about we supposed to be growing our own food, but they talk about eating poison, pork, and celebrating days that's against the Most High. Satan have nothing to do with the unfruitful works of darkness. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're hooking on. If you on there, we gotta get that prayer line up and going. Let me see. Yeah, you're hooking on. If you on there, let me call him. I'm gonna tell him to get the prayer line up. Then I'm gonna give y'all the number. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna get that prayer line up and going. He might be doing it now. But what we do is we have a men's prayer line, and it's getting near that time. And I'm gonna continue reading your comments, so y'all keep putting them in. Yeah, save a ton of money. Yep, that's right. Yeah, I'm gonna continue reading y'all's messages. But what I'm gonna do first is get this prayer line up and going. What we have, I'm gonna pull the flyer up here. If any of the ox are on there, we're gonna get the prayer line up and going. So if any of y'all could get on there, that'll be good. My ox who bring it up, or reach out to somebody to bring it up, and just let me know that it's up. But yeah, we have a men's prayer line that we do after this show. It's men's prayer and fellowshipping, and we do it after the show. And it's real good, edifying. So let me get the. I'm gonna pull the flyer up so y'all can see the information. Ooh, see if I can find it. I'm having a hard time finding the thing. But don't worry, I'll get it. But all right. So. What about the Acotes? I'm working with Sister Koya, and one of the other sisters on setting one up for Saturday after my show. But there's also, hold on one second. Photo. All right, let me see if I can find this thing. All right, I got it here somewhere. I just gotta let me see. Where is that plier? All right. Almost. Yeah. All right. There it is. Okay. So here's the information. I'm about to put it up on the screen. Y'all. There we go. All right. So y'all bear with me. All right, so there it is. This is the men's prayer line. And this is the information. So you call, dial in. This is the dial in number, and then you put in this access code. But let me see if the brothers is on it. If they got it up. Yeah, I'll stand by. Hey, you got the prayer line up? Okay, all right. Just let me know. Send me a text when you got it up. All right. So yeah, the Ox doing it now. He's gonna get it up. So we got 5 more minutes, and he should have it up. But in the meantime, um, the sister put dandelions are great to eat and for tea, and they're bitter herbs also. So like with the Passover, that's one of the bitter herbs you could have. Um, and it says, therefore, come out from among unbelievers and separate yourselves from them, says the Lord. Don't touch the filthy things, and I will welcome you. Sister put chamomile is great too. Yeah. Yep. And yes, dandelion has a lot of vitamins. It sure does. And it saves a ton of money. It'll keep you out of the hospital. They says it has cancer curing properties and stuff like that. And they also and it's like, but why do they tell you it's a weed? And why do they give you poison to spray on it that'll make you sick? You know, dude, it's this place is backwards, and but people love it, man. Like I see some of the heat, like I see people so-called in the Hebrew community, but they envy their oppressor. They envy the ways of this nation. They want to be like it. They want to set their stuff up. They want to be the next Kenneth Copeland, you know? And you can look in that dude's eyes and tell that dude got a demon on him. Like his eyes is like diabolical looking, you know? It was like, man, that was before I came in the truth. I was like, well, I don't want to think bad about this guy, but he looked kind of shisty, you know? Yeah, so it's so okay, so y'all the prayer line is up. For y'all men, the brothers watching, the men's prayer and fellowship call is up. That's the number on the screen. I'll make it bigger so y'all can see it. Y'all bear with me for a sec. There it is. Okay. So the men's prayer line is up. The phone number is right there. You dial 605-468-8715, and then you put in your access code, which is 533144. So it's 533144. That's your access code. You put that in, hit the pound or the star, and you're in there. And like I said, it's for the men's, we pray over whatever issues brothers are struggling with, and then we go ahead and after that we just chop it up. Brothers be bringing out scripts and just getting to know each other, man. Prayerfully one day, you know, we'll link up. You know, I'll be in your area. I know I'm gonna be we're in the early workings or something where I go out there to California, you know. I'm gonna be up in Detroit soon. Maybe New York and New Jersey here in a couple of months. I'll be in Tennessee, I think, at the end of this month. So, Yeah, a lot. I'll be, the traveling don't stop. I'm gonna begin to slow it down as soon as I can. Um, but I don't mind. Be up in ATL next week with my Ak Aliyah, so that'll be good. Look forward to that. Um, but anyway, with that said, we let's see what we got here. All right. So yeah, y'all get on. Okay, so yeah, you ladies who are interested in a woman's prayer line, email me at the email that's right there on the screen. It's info@spiritualcombat.org. Koya said she's interested in doing a women's prayer line, but she said she's not able to she's not gonna be able to head it up every single time. So what y'all ladies need to do is just get together and set it up, and the coaches could get on there. I know the other sister, Veronica, I think her name is, she's interested in it. So it looks like y'all got enough people to do something like that. And y'all could get on there, fellowship, chop it up, get to know each other, so that, yeah, when y'all do go somewhere, I know Sister Diamond is interested in it too. So y'all got a nice group the way y'all get something going. Like I said, so just send an email to info@spiritualcombat.org. Info@spiritualcombat.org. Me and Koya have access to that email, so we both check it. So she'll respond back to you, and we'll see what we could do, because that would be good. North Carolina, I'm going to be in South Carolina hit with Newbury. We're going to be doing a Shabbat in South Carolina in Charleston. North Carolina, we are setting up in Raleigh. We're setting up a showing for Ron's movie there. But they're working that out. I don't have any dates on that, though. But that's coming. All right. So let's see. All right, so yeah, Ox, they got the prayer line up. Get on there, and let me make sure I gave y'all the right information. I'm gonna dial into there. Let me see, 605. All right, hold on, I'm dialing in it. Michael Israel. All right, so we good. It's up. The ox is in there. They chopping it up right now. So if y'all want to get on in there, get on in there. Yeah, it's up and going. Like I said, sisters, y'all could go ahead and like I said, just email. We'll get something going for y'all, so y'all have something to do after the show on the Shabbat. I know some of y'all sisters is isolated, just like some of the brothers. So y'all need some fellowship on Shabbat, so that's good. All right, so let me see. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take it out with my dude L. Lorvins. I've been changed. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope this lesson was edifying and eye-opening, and y'all understand where I'm coming from. Be patient. I'm not saying those leaders that are doing this like they know what they're doing, because I tried to force a typical ministry in the Christian sense of the word, but I realized that wasn't the route. So I understand some people just unknowingly are just going through the motions of what seems to be the thing to do. But anyway, with that said, man, I hope this lesson was enjoyable. If you're interested in doing some of the stuff I was talking about, definitely email me at info@spiritualcombat.org. We're going to be doing a conference call to begin putting the pieces in place to do this. And it's not going to be, it ain't just wishful thinking. Like I've got a lot of people that said they on board with it and they ready to roll. So we're going to be making moves here very soon. So we're about that action, boss. But anyway, with that said, y'all, I'm going to take it out with my man L. His name is Lorvins. If you want to get his music, it's sonofshemites.com, or you could go on YouTube, Son of Shemites, and go to that channel and listen to all this music. With that said, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Shalom.
I've been changed, I've been changed. I'll be the first to say I was one of them, that we only live by grace and just have faith. I was taught to listen to what my pastor say. Only you should trust in him, he'll never lead you astray. But now that I know better, he don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. The truth has made me free. I've been changed, I am no longer deceived. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. Now let's take something that is so simple. Something simple like the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It is written that his word don't change. Why do you lie and defy the holy scriptures just to satisfy your desires? And now that I know better, he don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. Ain't no going back to what I used to do, no, I've been changed. I'm a new man, I've been changed, I've been changed. Whatever y'all say, I will obey. I no longer listen to men, I test everything they say. Let the word of Yah be true, and let every man be a liar. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. No more worshiping on a Sunday. I've been changed. No more Christmas, no more Easter.